Hey guys, it's your host Patricia. Welcome to today's episode of The Dialogue. Today we have more content available for you that is going to help you on your journey towards healing and recovery. As you know, our mantra on this show is that we are healing souls one conversation at a time. So this mantra was developed because I oftentimes have conversations with people, notice that God is in the midst because there's a confirmation, meaning that it was something I was thinking or something they were thinking. Oftentimes it's something that they just spoke to someone about. And in that time, we will actually talk about what's going on in our lives, and that subject content will come up and we'll process it together. Okay, so healing souls one conversation at a time, because oftentimes as I exit the conversation, I'm either feeling better, have new perspective, more motivation, clarity, and ultimately hope for a better outcome. And so that is what this show is all about, giving you hope on your journey of healing, that you will find peace in some of the things that have taken place with you, whether they were unfortunate circumstances that happened to you or things that you did to yourself just from being able to not process information correctly. Maybe you made a mistake or a wrong decision. And so we want to help you get past that so that you can start enjoying abundant life. Okay. So thank you so much for tuning in and welcome. For today's episode, we're going to be talking about letting go. I woke up this morning, my eyes popped open. I heard the word let go, letting go. And so I have not only just a quote, not only just a definition, I also have some strategies and tips that will help you in your process to letting go. And that is the first thing that I want to tell you, is that it is going to be a process. I am not someone that believes in that slogan or that jargon where it says, just let it go. Just let it go. It's just like they're justified for what they did and you're the problem because you're holding on to it and everyone else has moved on. I want you to apologize to you if anyone has ever said that to you, and understand that your anger, resentment, or bitterness, it is a process to get through it, because what happened to you wasn't instant. Even if it happened instantaneously, it does affect everyone differently, especially their mental. And as many of you know, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And so mental health awareness is one of my favorite things. I'm a person that loves the psyche, loves to understand why people think the way they do, which causes them to act the way they do and speak the way that they do. It all comes from your thoughts. And sometimes the thoughts that you don't even know that you're having. Okay. So today, letting go. What does letting go mean? Letting go is the act of releasing, moving forward, to stop thinking about or being angry about past or something that happened in the past. So oftentimes things that have taken place in our lives that have hurt us, they have happened in the past. So there is nothing that you can do about it now. There's nothing that you can do to change the circumstances. There's nothing you can do to change the situation. The best thing that you can do is to process, to change your mind about what happened in the situation. Okay, because one thing that I'm going to tell you is that trauma paints a picture. Anytime you go through traumatic situations, it paints a picture. It creates a lens that is oftentimes dark, so it prevents you from being able to see adequately. Meaning that if you were molested, if you were raped, if you were held at gunpoint and robbed, if you lost a child, if someone died, those traumatic experiences can paint a lens over your eyes. And trauma is very difficult because it actually goes into the mind. I feel like it sends like a shock wave through the mind, and it actually can cause a person to get stagnated. Not only just in that moment, but also the thoughts, the smells, the taste, the environment of wherever the trauma took place. And so as you hold on to it, unfortunately, we all know that holding on, the inability to let go, makes you remain stuck. Or you will remain stuck. And when that happens, a lot of times there are negative feelings attached to that trauma. And it can create feelings like anxiety, depression, sorrow, even wants you to go on a tangent of committing suicide or harming yourself or someone else. So this is why it is so important to let go. Some people that I know have been through traumatic experiences, they don't get the understanding of it until 10, 15, 20 years later, just depending on the time when the heart and or the mind is ready to release the experience and gain a different perspective. So the mind is coached to believe its initial thoughts, even if the new is good for you. So this is another reason why it is important to let go. Because your mind starts to hold on to that situation so much, you start to believe. For example, if you had a bad relationship, all men and or women are the same. You start to believe, I can't trust anybody. You start to think, nobody loves me. Somebody's going to hurt me. Somebody's going to do something to me. That job, I'm never going to go forward in that job. I won't go back to school. Wherever your trauma is and whatever reaction you put on it from the scenario is what your mind starts to believe. It holds on to that. So the experience is coaching your mind. You're not coaching your mind. And so this is why it's another important reason to let go. Okay? When you let go of situations that have happened to you, you actually stay in the present moment. Letting go. Letting go allows us to only focus on what is happening in the moment now. Letting go. Letting is past tense, means that it's being done. Letting, releasing. Because oftentimes, as we stated, these situations have already taken place. But when you let go, you stay in the present moment. I remember there were times where someone had done something to me and I couldn't understand. Why did they do that? You know, it always starts with that why, or I don't understand why they did that. And what happens is you're somewhere out to eat. You're somewhere at a park or a picnic. You're somewhere at a movie. You're somewhere, but you're not there. You're not present in the moment. You've seen it done even on movies where people have been somewhere and someone called their name. And they're like, huh, well, what? They are not there in that moment. They're not present because their mind is on something else that has already taken place. And so it wears down your ability to be resilient. And staying in the moment is known as mindfulness, like paying attention to what is on your mind at that moment. You're being mindful of your mind, mindful of your thoughts. And it does give you a measure of resilience. I'm going to actually say that this is helping me to understand some things because I've been through many situations: homelessness, childhood trauma, friend trauma, relationship trauma, job trauma, racial trauma. I mean, the list goes on and on. But I myself will have to honestly say that I'm really resilient. I do believe that it is based on my ability to let things go. And some things are harder than others, but ultimately in my mind and in my heart, I am determined to let things go. And so I want that to be your mindset, your mentality. Holding on to this, you have to ask yourself a question. If something's happened to you, holding on to this, how is it helping me? How is it benefiting me? And oftentimes you will come to the conclusion there is no benefit. But like we said, letting go is a process. Learning to live in the moment is a process. I personally believe that when people hold on to traumatic experiences that have happened to them, or, you know, some people it can take time, but I'm referring to people that want to be angry, that want to be sad, that want to be depressed, because sometimes people want to be that way. They want to hold this person in prison for what they've done to them. Holding on is a coping strategy. It's a coping strategy. It's not a healthy one, but it is a coping strategy that people use. It's a false safety net. Because people feel as though as they hold on to these situations, and some people really just don't know, as they hold on to these situations, it is in hopes that they don't experience the same pain that they did. But what actually happens is the complete opposite. You lose out on great opportunities and possibilities. Somebody done you wrong. It was your worst fear. So you hold on to it because you think everybody's the same. You won't give another person an opportunity to show you or prove to you that people are different. Oftentimes you won't even allow that person to come back and show you that they've changed and that they're different. And so oftentimes reconciliation is stagnated. Restoration is stagnated because of people's inability to let go. I bet you did know that letting go also has the benefit of positively affecting your mental and physical health. Have you ever seen someone that all they talk about is negative things and what people have done to them, and they're not going to forgive and things of that nature? Have you ever paid attention to their physical health? A lot of times their body is breaking down. They're tired, they're exhausted, they're groggy or cranky because there's another agenda driving them. And it is not one of moving forward. It is one staying in the past. And that does affect your mental. I often say that I think that unforgiveness should be listed as a mental illness, because when people are unforgiving, what they have to do in order to feel better about what happened to them, it is amazing, because they spend so much time and attention, or spend so much time and attention making that person pay for what they did. They're not living. They're not focused on themselves. They're not taking care of their health. They're not in a good place. And to me, that is a mental illness. Because what happens is when you refuse to let go, you ruminate on the situation. You continue to call it to memory. And oftentimes it is painful experiences. It's painful experiences. And so what happens is that those painful experiences paint the narrative of your life, and you don't live to see the sun come out. You don't live to enjoy the moment. You don't live. But as we said, it is a process. It is a process, okay? So when you don't let things go, not only do you ruminate, your mindset, like we said, becomes coached. And so your reactions and outcome become familiar. You meet a new guy, it's the same thing over and over. He's a cheater, he's a liar, he's a manipulator. Because now your guard is up. And this person hasn't necessarily shown you that. It is just your situation being recalled back into the present. You want to be a person that allows people, circumstances, and situations to pass through your mind and let them go. When you don't let go, I want to tell you that it steals from you. It robs you of your joy, your peace. And ultimately, it robs you of your hope and your faith. Because many of us have been done wrong. Many of us have been used, abused, betrayed, lied on. And the list goes on and on. But when you continuously think about what a person did to you, they're probably moved on and hopefully not doing the same thing to the next person. But more than likely they are, if they haven't learned from the experience. However, what happens is that once they continue to do it or have done it to you, it robs you. And then you don't have any faith of the possibilities or good things that can happen for you despite what took place. I want you to understand, when you let go, it gives you the opportunity to process new information and gain a different perspective. And oftentimes that new perspective will have us to look inwardly in ourselves to see where we can improve, transform, and transition from. Anything that bad that takes place, or any encounter that you have that takes place in your life that's bad, it's always an opportunity to speak good of it once you change the perspective. But as you hold on to it, you're holding on to the narrative of what happened, not of the possibility of what you can see. And so through all of this, letting go, or the inability to let go, the fun fact about it is that you don't have fun. You can't change what happened, but you can work towards accepting by processing, and eventually as you process, you will show progress. And so ladies, that is what life, ladies and gentlemen, that is what life is all about. Showing progress, evolving, and changing. Looking on the inside. Maybe what happened to you, no, it wasn't your fault. But maybe where you made the mistake, maybe it's something that you can do differently so that you don't experience the same outcome again. And Romans 8:28 It says that all things work together for the good of those that love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. So no matter what bad happens, God in his infinite wisdom strategy is always able to bring something good from it. So it's never a moment where you lose out, because he'll use it. He will use what you've been through and experienced, no matter how traumatic it is. Jesus Christ went to the cross and died. After 3 days, was resurrected, and now we have a living Savior. There is nothing that can happen to you that God can't resurrect and use for good. The death of a man is bringing about so much healing and peace and resurrection and changed lifestyles, transitioned minds, transformed lifestyles. And that was something bad, but look at how much good has come from it. Jesus Christ can do the same for you. So today, I want you to think about that situation, get it in the front of your mind, and think about what you need to let go. And if it doesn't happen overnight, what are the steps that you can take in order to start on the journey of letting go and allowing yourself to be healed and whole? Healed and whole. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of The Dialogue. Please share the content with someone. I know that there are a lot of people struggling in this area, and I know that it is available to bless someone and make their life lighter. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back with more content. If you are on social media, definitely connect with me. I am on Instagram as Patricia Tomlinson _ I'm also on TikTok at The Dialogue too. So stay tuned. We look forward to connecting with you and sharing the good news. Have a good day.